Lowkey Deep. Real talk, real artist.
How's the tour life so far? How is it going?
Tour life is tour life. I feel like I've been on the road this whole year. Nah, since July for sure, but I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to finish strong at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Since July. So have you been back home since then?
Yeah, I probably had like a week window.
Oh, just a week?
And then another week, like after the U.S. tour, we went to Australia. And another week, So
What do you miss most about home?
my son, he growing up fast. Kids grow up fast, so those are like the important moments that you don't want to miss out on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is half a year, right? Almost.
What?
Since you started touring July?
Yeah, July, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
How old is he?
He's 4, about to be 5 in December. Yeah.
That's such a sweet age, though.
Right. And 6 months as a kid, that's like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
He's going to be so excited when you come back.
Yeah, for sure.
When are you coming back?
November 17th. I remember the date.
Oh, isn't it the 7th or the 8th today? So it's like 9 or 10 days.
Exactly.
You almost got it. You pulled through.
Let's throw a welcome home
go.
party. I need a welcome home party.
A big one. A surprise party. Are you into surprises?
Not really.
Nah.
I didn't like my family, their religion is Jehovah's Witness, so I didn't grow up celebrating holidays. But somebody throw me a party.
But are you celebrating holidays?
I might, when you have kids, you just want to do everything for them.
Yeah, you can start your own traditions.
Right.
But of course, you still want to stick to your family traditions in some kind of sense.
Hey, that's my family. I'm living free.
What traditions would you bring to your family?
What tradition? That's a good question. We have this thing called like Family Sundays, where everybody pulls up to my house and we just all vibe, probably watch football or, just chill out, talk. I think that's a good tradition to have, just to catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Sunday?
Not every Sunday, but we at least check in every Sunday, see if anybody's available most of the time. But yeah, we just try to keep it consistent every Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nice tradition to have.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing. How many people are you in the family?
My immediate family, maybe like a good 6. My mom, my dad. I got 3 older sisters.
You get 3? You're the youngest in the family?
Youngest, yeah.
We're 3
I'm a
older.
baby.
Ooh, tough times.
Nah, it was actually pretty sweet for me.
Were you allowed to do everything your sisters weren't allowed to?
I mean, in a sense, but also I'm a boy too, so boys get away with a lot of things.
They get a free pass on almost everything. Because I'm the second oldest sister in my family as well. And I have 4 younger siblings. Almost all of them are boys.
Yeah.
And they're like, they were like crazy. Yeah.
Exactly. We just get away with everything.
You're proud of that position.
I wouldn't have it no other way.
So, Blxst, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for coming over and talking to me. It's such a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Of course. I read your TikTok bio and it says producer and songwriter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, why the emphasis on songwriting? Was that intentional?
I don't know. I probably just made that, just making a TikTok, not even thinking. But it is. I mean, it's true. I am a producer.
True.
I am a songwriter.
Yeah.
And it is intentional. I want people to know that I do write my own songs. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was intentional because you wouldn't call yourself an R&B artist or a rapper. Would you call yourself a songwriter first?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I don't really like to put labels on it. I like to be free, and I might experiment with any type of vibe. So why box yourself in when you can just, be free?
Yeah, label-less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. Smart thing to do. When you think of your childhood, maybe like from 6 to 12, what did your childhood sound like? What was the music that was like playing in the background? What was your soundtrack?
The music that I remember was a lot of like Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, a lot of soul music, and traditional hip hop too. My uncle, he stayed in the back house. He would play a lot of Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Nas, just a lot of lyrics.
Yeah, and the Lauryn Hill part, the soul part, came from your mom?
For sure, yeah. She had a record player, and she would just play vinyl all day, yeah.
Were you allowed to touch it?
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
But she played it to you.
Yeah, it was, as far as I can remember, it was always music in the house. Yeah, I remember my sister used to write down lyrics to her, like when she heard a favorite song, she would write the verses out just to memorize it.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool.
Yeah. Were you allowed to touch them?
What, the lyrics?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I would sit there and just watch her write, like just be fascinated, like, oh yeah, I like that line.
But your sister didn't get into music?
Not really. And it's funny because she real talented. I feel like if she ever was to try it, she would be like kind of similar to an artist that I would be.
Yeah.
That I am, because we have similar taste in music. Like I got my whole music taste from my sister.
So she influenced you more than your uncle or your mom?
Yeah, just sonically, just the type of music she would listen to. Mm-hmm. I would get the hand-me-down CDs from her catalog. So yeah.
Does she know about that?
She do. I'll be texting her all the time, like, yo, thank you for all the music inspiration. So yeah, I always show her love.
Yeah. What do you think would she be talented in? Songwriting or singing? Or
Songwriting.
Songwriting.
Sure. We even used to like make songs when we was kids, just like little nursery rhymes or remixing other songs, changing their own lyrics, changing them into our own lyrics,
Yeah.
It was fun.
Would you write with her today?
Yeah, I would.
Like writing sessions?
That'd be dope. That'd be a nice way to bond with my big sis. Yeah, I like that.
Is she the oldest?
She's not the oldest. She's 3 years older than me, but she's the youngest out of the three.
So closest to you.
Yeah.
What does she do for a living?
Right now she's just a stay-at-home mom. She just had my nephew, so
give her something to do.
Yeah, but she's also in the medical field, so
okay. She has a lot to do then.
a lot on her shoulders right now.
Yeah. You said in an interview that you were a quiet kid growing up. But music was some kind of your form of having a voice. Were you hesitant to raise that voice at all when you started?
When I started in music, nah, it just, if like for me, talking to a mic felt like I could say anything I wanted to without nobody judging me or talking back to me. Mm-hmm. So it was a sense of therapy, like just releasing anything that I felt. And I think I bottled up a lot as a kid, just my perspective, not being comfortable to talk. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint what it was, but that's just how I am growing up. That's how I was growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get the feedback that your voice wasn't worth listening to?
Nah. I mean, I fell in love with my own voice, so it really didn't matter what nobody else felt. And I feel like people like can feel my confidence in my tone,
Yeah. But talking, I mean, before music, before writing songs, when you said that you were kind of quiet before that, but you can't really say where that came from.
Nah, I think like I just had trouble articulating myself in conversations. And with music, with a rhythm, with a beat, it's like you just feel like you in a certain motion that, it's indescribable, but that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the first time showing it to people, you weren't nervous at all about that?
I mean, yeah, slightly, but their opinion was so minute. Like I already knew where I could take it. I already knew like, okay, this is really for me. It felt comfortable. It felt effortless. Even when I listened back, it was like it wasn't where I wanted to be, but you could still tell the potential of where I could be. So I didn't have a problem with sharing it with people.
So you're saying also that you were already at the point where you felt comfortable with your art.
Yeah.
Before you showed it to people.
Yeah.
How much time passed?
How much time passed?
Yeah, since you started doing music and then showing it to people.
I remember the first song I made. I showed it to my friend's his sister. Like
Wait a minute. Who was that friend and why did you choose her?
Well, nah, it was nothing like that. Nothing like that.
You're giggling too much for that, sir.
Nah, you funny. But nah, my friend, actually, he's the one who took me to the studio. And I was just sleeping over his house that night. So when I went back to his house, his sisters was there. She was like, what y'all's doing? And I showed her the song. Yeah, that's it.
You still in contact
Nothing
with
made
her?
it pretty boring.
Okay, so the first time you actually showed your art, you already went ahead and booked the studio.
Yep.
You were so confident.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you think about that.
Yeah.
I was full-fledged
Ballsy.
from the jump. I was all in from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did that dip at some point in your career?
Nah, I stuck through it. I never had a job ever. Never had a job. It was only music ever since I was 17
You
years
don't
old.
know how to do 9 to 5?
I know. I'll be telling myself like, man, I need to learn a trade or something. I need to learn how to work on cars. Or I can't go my whole life just making music.
Why not?
I mean, I could, but
Yeah.
I just feel useless to the world. I like to be some type of servant in some manner.
Don't you see your art as a service?
Yeah, that's true. It's a form of therapy for other people, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me like my music changed their life, things like that. So in a sense, it is a service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel enough for you?
Nah, I need to do something physical, I want to get in the field, get my hands dirty. I don't know, maybe it's just a man in me. I need to, get in the field.
What would you do? What would it be? A craft?
Just something like a trade. Maybe it's working on plumbing or learning
You
how
can
to.
see yourself
Why
yourself
not?
as a plumber?
At least not as a plumber, but at least knowing how to do it.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to just always have to pay somebody else to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
But something, maybe it can be something like learning how to have a garden or something.
Yeah.
Something that's beneficial.
Oh, that sounds so satisfying.
That'd be nice.
Growing your own food?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might tap into that. That's different.
After tour.
Come on, let's do it. That'll be my hobby after tour.
Yeah, your project. Do you think you need something to like still be busy after tour life?
For sure. Because even like I said, when I went home for a week, I was like, what am I supposed to do now? It felt weird. I feel like I'm made for the road now. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta stay busy.
Yeah.
Especially now that I got a spotlight. It's like I gotta stay consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what what was missing in that week? Was it the crowd and people surrounding you and cheering you on, singing to your music? Or what was the most?
I think like because my personal life and me as an artist is like polar opposite.
Oh, seriously?
So yeah, like when I'm out doing music or when I'm doing radio interviews, like I'm expressive, I'm talking, but at home I'm just like down, just chilling, thinking about stuff, thinking about the next move. So I don't know, it's just like two different worlds.
Do you talk at all at home?
Nah, I don't probably say 50 words a day at the most.
So is that right here, that part, the promo, is that exhausting to you?
It could be sometimes. I mean, when it don't feel genuine, when it just felt like another day at work for the person that I'm being interviewed by. But right now, it feels good.
Yeah,
you're doing a great job.
Thank you. What came first for you? Producing for other people, or writing for yourself as an artist, and like also releasing it?
Well, I was doing it all together, me personally, at the same time. But as far as what people knew me for was producing first. And that was just like locally in Los Angeles, like certain artists that I would work with and had a lot of popular songs. There's a song called Right With It with Kaylin and YG that went pretty viral. And I was like, yeah, we need that sound. Blxst.
Yeah, so it was producing first on a professional level at least.
Exactly.
Yeah. How did it feel like giving a song away in a kind of sense?
I mean, it felt good. I'm cool with playing the background. I don't really care for the spotlight. I feel like I'm gonna get mine regardless. So if I can pass the ball and get a win like that too, that's even better. I think it's better when everybody winning except for just one person. So yeah.
Because recently there was this German rapper who said that with every song he releases or every song he writes, he's giving a piece of his soul away. And I was wondering if that felt similar to, is that a similar feeling or a feeling, you know?
I mean, I can sense that too, but it just depends on like how personal the song is to you. Sometimes you can be just speaking on the surface and it can be relatable to everybody, or you could be talking about something that's real personal and you might not want to give that away. And if you do, you're gonna be like, you know, so I feel them.
Is there a song, you don't have to name it, but is there a song that you gave away that you, in like thinking back on it,
yeah, for sure,
you wish you haven't?
Yeah, it's one song that I wrote for artists that I was like, man, I should have kept that. But it also got me through certain doors. So it was like, you know, give or take which one you want.
Was it the feeling of regret? Was it because it got popular or because it was too personal to you?
Just because it was a song that I really felt that I could deliver better, you know?
And, that hurt.
I felt like I kind of went against my integrity around that time. Like, all right, let me just do this so I can scale myself up. But, you know, sometimes you got to make sacrifices to get where you want.
Yeah.
That was one of my sacrifices.
Okay. But lesson learned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we good now. Nobody getting no sucks.
But then how do you differentiate between the songs that you keep for yourself and the ones that you give away? Do you, before you start writing, are you actually like, okay, that is my session now and everything that happens here is mine?
Yeah, I mean, now I'm in a space to where like if somebody wants a song from me, then I like to start the idea from scratch. Like you have to tell me, we have to catch a vibe, then we'll go from there versus like me just making my songs and sending songs like, you like this song? You like this song? So it's already separated from the jump. You already, you know? Yeah.
And how do you approach albums or projects? Do you go by theme, with an overall theme of a project? Or is it, okay, these are the 10 songs that mean the most to me in the from the last couple of months or so?
Yeah, I think being a fan of conceptual albums, that's how I approach my albums too. Like as if it's like a movie, you know, like the Kendrick Lamar albums, Schoolboy Q, just albums that feel like it's all one story. That's how I approach my albums. Even my videos, if you look at them, like if I do 4 videos, they will all tie into each other like a storyline.
Yeah. I felt like that as well. You like storytelling.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
What would you say, how did your style of music develop over the last couple of years? How was it when you started and at what point are you now?
That's a good question. I think naturally my perspective just grown because I'm growing as a man outside of music, you know, with me having a son, me being in charge of my situation, as far as my I'm sorry, my business, you know, just being on top of my business, being responsible and just leveling up as a man. I think it just naturally falls into my lyrics as well. So
are there different topics now?
Yeah, different topics. I'm talking boss talk now. You know? We're not just talking like little people. We the big dogs now.
Do you see, when you listen to your old tracks, are you like, okay, that's childish?
Yeah, for sure. Certain things I would never say now.
Is it cringy to you now?
Right. Yeah.
What topic what was a topic that you were actually thinking about a lot in the last couple of months? What was going through your mind and head?
As far as like musically or just in general?
And you could answer both.
I think what I was thinking about musically is just like the transition from artist into, you know, being a chairman of my company, also like putting other artists in position, also having employees in the company. Like I'm just really scaling the business horizontal, you know, instead of just vertical. Like, I don't want to just build myself. I want to build the people around me too, so we can have longevity. Those are a lot of thoughts that I be having. Like, what's certain ways I can do that? What's ways I can make sure that we in it for 10 years plus or 20 years plus, or how our kids gonna eat from this, what we doing now, you know?
What shifted your mindset on that opinion?
It's a combination of things. I think seeing a lot of our OG artists like being in messed up situations, how they was the biggest artists, but now it's like they're used to be's, you know, or they have contract problems. Like, I don't want to be one of them artists. I want to make sure whatever intellectual property I'm putting into the world right now, I want to have ownership of it. And I want my kids to benefit off that, you know. And also having kids, it's like you can't look them in the eye and tell them no. So I don't want to live in that state of mind.
You can't say no to your kid.
I can't.
You have to.
You got kids?
No, but I've got siblings. I told you, I've got 4 younger ones. I can say no to them.
When you have kids, you'll understand.
I'm going to know what it feels like to say. They're going to be spoiled.
Hey,
you're right with that?
You can't help it. You can't help it. It's hard.
Well, but it sounds really exhausting on top of your own game as an artist. And then also building a business around you. How do you do it? And you're on tour right now.
Yeah.
When do you sleep?
I know, right? I don't think it's time to sleep, though. I got to use my youthfulness while I can. But
we're both 30.
Yeah.
You think we're still young?
Of course. You don't feel young?
No, not really.
I feel I can run a mile right now. And it's early, too.
No, I see all the Gen Zs around me and I get nervous.
Yeah. Nah, I'm good. I be working out. You know, I'm still active.
Yeah.
Playing with my son. You know, I feel young still.
Good.
I got another 20 years in me before I
at least
hit the wheelchair or something.
Imagine rolling around in a wheelchair. No. So how would you once said that music is not for me, it's for the world. That was a quote I really found interesting. Is that also how you approach songwriting? Do you imagine it being released, or is it just something like personal, of course, but you and the paper and the thoughts in your head?
I think it's for me while I'm creating it, because, you know, for me it's therapeutic to get it off my chest. But after you release it, it's no longer yours. You know, it's for everybody else to judge. It's sort of like if you paint a picture and you put it in a museum, like you want people to come see it and get different perspectives on your art. So that's kind of how I look at it. Like after I put it out, it's like, it's not for me no more.
Yeah. How much does the public opinion or the opinion of your fans or family affect your music?
That's a great question. I think my family, the respect I have for my family definitely plays a part in what I say. The fans' opinion, it depends on how much of a fan you are, or, you know, how involved I feel like you actually care about my career. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter, you know?
Yeah.
But my family, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you get opinions of your family and they're like, oh no, I don't like that? And you're like, okay, maybe I should rethink that.
Nah. I mean, I thought it would, you know, I said some personal things before, but I think the support that I have from my family, they understand that this is my way of expressing, and this is like my job too, to express my feelings. So they have a good understanding for it.
So the critique from your family is mostly about lyrics that touches on their own life. Okay.
Exactly.
Who did you make mad? Who was the last person?
Nobody specifically, you know. It's just, you know, it's more so if you know, like the average listener wouldn't know what I was talking about. But if it's personal to you, you're going to feel a different connection to it, you know?
Yeah. So when was the last time you had to have a tough conversation with somebody in your family?
All the time.
All the time?
Yeah. It's always tough. And, you know, for me, like I said, I'm better expressing myself in music. So when it's time to have them tough conversations, I probably run from the situation and just not answer the call. But all the time, yeah, it always comes up.
So there are members in your family that you got mad at, and then you didn't talk to them for like weeks or months, and then they heard a song, and they were like, "That's why." Are you kidding me?
Nah,
Why did he not just call me?
That's funny. Yeah, something like my family know though. Like, if you wanna, I don't know. I'm not gonna be the one to just call you and just express my feelings. Like, I don't know. I wasn't raised like that. I wish I was though. I wish I could express myself in a conversation just naturally. But you know, it's a challenge I still haven't faced yet, I guess.
I'm still wondering why it feels more comfortable for you. Releasing your feelings or sharing your feelings with a large audience.
Yeah.
But not a single person.
I know, right? I don't know. I think the intimacy like is scary. Like when I jump on stage, it's like I'm talking to everybody at once. So it's not like.
But that must feel so much more scary.
But it's not though. No? It's weird. You would think that, but it's like this is more personal. Yeah. And like we getting a better connection than if I'm talking in front of 1,000 people. You know?
Yeah.
Like think about it as if I was like a teacher teaching 1,000 students versus teaching you one-on-one. You're gonna learn better one-on-one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But then you're still sharing your music with a large audience and not one-on-one.
You're right. I don't know. I'm just weird like that.
Must be something about it though.
Yeah.
What is then the aspect of your job that you are most excited about?
Well, you threw me for a loop with that one. That I'm most excited about. I think just being able to provide for my family, that's the coolest thing for me, especially with doing something that I love to do. It's as if I'm not even working, like I'm just living my life and I'm benefiting off of it. So I just try to remain humble and be grateful for my gift because I know how fast like it could be taken away from you too. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have to hustle to sustain it?
Of course. I think with anything, you got to hustle to sustain it. And especially like the more successful you get, the more you have to sustain. And, you know, like they say, more money, more problems. So.
What kind of problems do you have now that you didn't have back then when you had less money?
I always go back to just being a provider, you know. And the more expensive your lifestyle get, you got to keep that lifestyle up. You know, it's hard to go from 100 to 0 versus going from 0 to 100. You know, like the feeling is different. You don't want to go from 100 to 0.
No.
That's tough. So just keeping it up.
I think you could though.
What you mean?
You could get used to it.
To what?
To not having money anymore. Right? Because you didn't have it growing up, so you know what it is like. You could survive.
Yeah, but it's like once you get a taste of what money is, it's like you don't want to go back.
Are you telling me you couldn't? Nah, you couldn't survive?
I couldn't survive. Maybe you could.
Well, you never have to. I think that's given.
Yeah.
But is there a part of your job or your life that you could go without? If the providing part is your favorite part, what aspect of being an artist, a producer, a provider, a boss could you go without?
Nah, I don't know. I like everything that comes with it. Even the things that I think is annoying, like the interviews and stuff. Like I like that it's enabling me to still become the person that I feel like I'm becoming. You know, I think everything is placed in position for a reason. So I take everything that come with it, the highs and the lows. Yeah.
Do you have a vision of the person you want to become?
I do. You know, I talk to my therapist, and she always tell me like, describe yourself in 10 different ways. I don't have my notebook, so I can't tell you right now. But yeah, I definitely have a description of who I am as Matthew, as Blxst. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. How far away are you from that vision?
How far am I away? I'm like 50% there.
That's good.
I got a lot of work to do.
We all do. And I think the work never really ends also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no such thing as perfect, right?
Not at all.
I'm trying to strive for perfection though, but I don't know if I get there.
You
Is
do?
that bad?
I think not bad, but it gets frustrating sometimes, I think. Are you never satisfied then with your achievements maybe?
Yeah, for sure. I never celebrate. It's always
Victories.
like, what else is next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doesn't that get depressive?
It does. Sometimes I'll be like, damn, this is everything I dreamed of. Why am I not like, yes?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is getting
I'm
dark.
sorry.
It's getting dark.
No, I'm so sorry, but also I could see a lot of my own opinions and my own thoughts in your own thoughts. So
Yeah. You can relate.
Totally, yeah.
But hey, it's all the journey, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also a journey to accepting that that there isn't an end goal. There's just, I don't know.
That's true. They say it's like, it's not about the destination. It's about, the journey, you know? So
yeah,
got to live in a moment.
Yeah. I definitely have to remind myself of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's our journey in the 30s, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Right?
You turn 30, start overthinking stuff. Like, what am I doing? Yeah.
In an interview, you once said that your audience now has grown so much that you have to be really intentional with everything that you're saying. And I was wondering if that is a feeling that is liberating to you in a sense of, okay, I can really like control my own narrative, or does it feel restrictive to you?
I mean, forgive me if I'm answering your question wrong, but for me, it's just like, I don't think it's smart to underestimate the listeners. Like, we all growing at the same time. So I just like to challenge myself to become a better person so I can spread that energy of like growth and whatever I've learned, just putting it in the music too. But what was it? Like, what was the initial question?
The initial question was that your audience has grown so much that you feel like you have to be really intentional with every word you're saying, or with public statements or things you put out. They really have to be thought through. And I was just wondering if that is a good feeling to you or a rather like restrictive feeling.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's good or restrictive. It's just like, it is what it is. But for me, it don't really affect me because I know if I'm keeping it 100, if I'm being authentic, then who can hate on that? You can either love it or hate it, but you have to respect it at the end of the day. So I just be true to myself, and I hope people can feel my authenticity.
Yeah. You're the only person that has to be able to look itself in the mirror.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Right.
If you imagine somebody saying that they're listening to your music, and they would be like, okay, I'm listening to X, Y, Blxst, and Z. What would the other three artists be? What would you be proud to be named in a row?
I'm gonna say Drake. Drake. That's a great question. Let me think. Is there a time limit on here?
No, we have time.
We're chilling.
I'm just scared of your manager.
Right. I'm trying to think of like some artists. I would say Ty Dolla $ign.
You worked with Ty.
Yeah, that's big bro right there.
Yeah.
One more or two more?
One more is okay.
Okay. Maybe like a Bryson Tiller.
What about him?
I think just the way he entered the game, like with trap soul, it was like a blend of R&B, but still had a hip hop feel to it as far as the beats. and I do that in my own way. You know, just like having conversational songs versus just lyrics. Like I'm actually speaking to you on a personal level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about Drake?
Drake, I think he's just the embodiment of a rapper singer. Like he pretty much broke the door down for everybody. Him and Kanye, as far as like having melodies and also having bars. Yeah, I put them on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ty?
And Ty, that's like one artist that I seen close to me because we from the same city that actually like broke through with that type of sound. So I looked up to him in a lot of ways. Like when I was doing music, I always got to include him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you excited about coming up next for you? And what is coming up next for you?
I'm excited to just go back home after being on the road. So many places I traveled to that I never would have thought I would travel to, and just expressing myself, you know, just being home with my kids and
start gardening.
Yeah, that part. Pick up some hobbies, do some regular. I want to be regular for a little bit.
Yeah.
And catch up. So
any plumbing company could hire you right now?
No. Not at all.
I've got stuff to do in my house.
I might plant some seeds for you, but I ain't fixing no toilets.
Take the seeds. Well, Blxst, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Lowkey Deep. Gold interviews with Cassandra.